Pigeon Pose, or Eka Pada Rajakapotasana. You want to say that with me? We've probably all got a story about this one. It's often tossed in at the end of a vinyasa class, used as a quick fix for tight hips or held in silence for what feels like forever. You've probably heard, bring your shin parallel to the front of the mat, or square your hips, or just fold and breathe. And maybe you've said these things too. I know I've said some of them. But what if we've been oversimplifying this pose? A lot. What if half pigeon isn't just about getting a stretch, but about noticing how we resist, release, and relate to discomfort? And just as importantly, what if we stop pretending that this pose is accessible or even helpful for everyone? Because honestly, for a lot of people, it's not. It can feel like strain, like pressure, like frustration, or even pain in the knees, the hips, or the low back. So in this video, we're going to take a fresh look at half pigeon pose, how we cue it, how we offer it, and how we can make it more supportive, more inclusive, and more intentional. Hi, I'm Crystal Gray, a longtime yoga teacher and yoga teacher trainer. I've helped hundreds of yoga teachers build confidence in their voice, refine their cueing, and teach in a way that's clear, grounded, and inclusive. And if you want support with poses like this one, I created a free cueing workbook called Clear and Confident Yoga Cues. You can grab it by clicking the link in the description below. It's packed with practical cueing examples, common mistakes to avoid, and a worksheet to help you prep for your classes. Now, before we dive in, let me know in the comments if you struggle to either do this pose or teach it. This helps other teachers know that they're not alone in their frustration. All right, so let's get into it. So often, half pigeon is taught like it's just a given. Bring your knee forward, square your hips, shin parallel to the front of the mat. But here's the thing, bodies are not built the same. Not every pelvis is shaped the same. Not every student has the same range of motion, proportions, or injury history. And not everyone feels emotionally safe folding forward in this position. When we teach pigeon without context or without options, we can unintentionally create more harm than good. Pinching in the hip, pressure in the knee, or a general sense that something just doesn't feel right. So let's shift that. Let's rebuild the pose, not as a shape to get into, but something to explore. Now you can follow along or just reflect on how you might cue this differently in your own classes. You might even want to close your eyes. Okay, so start in downward facing dog. And from here, bring your right knee forward, placing it down behind your right wrist. Just letting your shin angle naturally. It doesn't have to be parallel to the front of the mat. Do this so that you allow your hip and your knee to move in a way that actually matches your anatomy, not some idea of perfect alignment. Then extend your left leg back behind you and untuck your toes. Take a look back and line up the leg with your hip so that the pelvis has a stable foundation and your low back doesn't have to overwork. Now check in with your hips. Are you tipping to one side to try and get the pelvis down to the floor? If so, that's where support can make a big difference. Slide a folded blanket or something under the right butt cheek so that you can bring your hips more into that neutral position and you feel supported. That way your spine can lengthen with ease, not strain. Then if it feels okay, begin to walk your hands forward and maybe fold, but don't collapse into the pose. Just let yourself ease into the pose slowly. Do this so that your nervous system stays regulated and your breath stays connected. Remember, you're not here to nail the pose. You're here to feel. So take a moment. What's showing up in your body right now? Is there an area that's bracing or gripping? Can you soften around that area, maybe just 1% more? Can you meet the tension with curiosity instead of judgment? That's where the real yoga happens, not in the stretch, but in the awareness. Now let's talk about some options here because there's no one right way to do any pose. If the front knee feels uncomfortable or your hips just aren't having it, try threading the needle by laying down on your back. also called sometimes supine pigeon. Do this so that your hip still gets attention, but your joints feel protected and supported and gravity's not really pushing you down, right? Another thing you can do if you need more sensation is to actually walk the back knee back. Now that might make the front shin more parallel, but we do that instead of dragging the front foot forward, which can hurt the knee. Okay, so you could even practice this keeping your torso upright, maybe getting more into a back bend. Whatever is feeling more nourishing and nurturing for you and whatever you need in that moment. Every version of this pose is valid. Every variation is still yoga. All right, great job. Now reverse your way out of this pose and just take a moment to notice the effects. Now feel free also to move onto the other side while I dive a little bit deeper. Okay, so why does all this matter? Because how we cue a pose really tells our students that's what matters. And here's what I think really matters most in half pigeon. Number one, joint safety. Misaligned pigeon can put a lot of torque on the knee. Offering support helps prevent injury and builds trust in the practice. Number two, emotional safety. Folding forward in this way can surface emotions for some people. Having props, options, and a sense of choice makes this pose feel safer and more empowering. Number three, functional anatomy. Hip tension shows up for all kinds of reasons. Postural habits, emotional holding, life history. We're not here to force it open. We're here to meet it with curiosity. Number four, nervous system support. This pose only calms the body if the body feels supported. Otherwise, it can create more bracing, more tension, and more disconnection. So the next time you teach or take pigeon pose, here's what I'd invite. Offer it as an exploration, not a goal. Give variations before people struggle, not just after. Use props like a partner. They're there to support, not fix anything. And above all, remind your students that how the pose feels is way more important than how it looks. Can I feel into my hips, my spine? Is there anywhere I can soften just a little more? What would it feel like to stay with myself exactly as I am right here? If you could comment right now and let me know what your key takeaway from this video was, I would love that, because also it helps me, but it'll really help it sink in for you so that you embody these teachings rather than just memorize it. All right, thank you so much. If this video helped you think differently about half pigeon, I would love for you to like and subscribe. It helps more teachers find this kind of content. And if you haven't downloaded the free cueing workbook yet, grab it below. It's full of ideas you can use to start using in your very next class. Let me know in the comments what pose you'd love to understand or cue more clearly. I would love to create more videos that support you in your teaching journey, and that helps me to know. So thank you so much for being here and for continuing to learn so that you can teach in a way that's more thoughtful, intentional, and real. I'll see you next time. Bye.